Welcome to Mr. Patterson's September Work-Based Learning Webinar. This is for all the people who cannot attend the meeting in the auditorium. All right, let's get into it. All right, the agenda. So this is what we need to cover. The purpose of this webinar, just so you know, is so that everyone is on the same page at the same time, since we don't meet with each other regularly. So I'm required to meet with everyone once a month. So for the people who cannot attend my auditorium meetings, you can use this webinar as a supplement. Anyway, so this is the agenda. I'll cover some general announcements. I'll talk about what was due in August, what's due in September. We'll go over Dr. Patterson's business lesson of the month, and then finally the announcements, and hopefully everyone will be on the same page at the end of this. First, general announcements. The gradebook, as you notice, is not set up in Infinite Campus. I'm still waiting on the administration to set up our gradebook. And also Georgia Best. For those of you who are new to work-based learning, the assignments that I give you, there's a purpose for everything. So the Georgia Best assignments, the assignments you do on AES, are to qualify you for Georgia Best certification. It's a seal that you get on your diploma when your senior year that says that you've been certified with soft skills. That's given to you by the Department of Education and Labor. It also qualifies you for a graduation cord. That's why we do it. This one was due in August. This is where everyone should be at. Number one, your paperwork. There's a star next to this because this is the issue that most of you guys are having. I went over what was due during the first week of school and also my orientation video, but some of you guys turned in substandard paperwork. I'm going to go over a list of that paperwork in a second. Number two, AES learning. Hopefully by this time, if everyone has completed the job seeking sales on AES. As a side note, you can do all the AES assignments twice. So that quiz grade that you guys do, if you fail the quiz, you can do it over twice. If you're off campus, on campus and off campus, everyone does AES. If you were part of work-based learning last year, you do not have to do AES. I will just give you 100 for your AES assignments in lieu of doing the AES assignments. Last month, the website shell was done. On my website, if you go to northspringswbl.org, go to the resources tab, and go to how to create an electronic career portfolio. There's step-by-step directions on how to do that. All you had to do for last month was make the tabs and put a picture of yourself on the front cover of the website. The reflection, the monthly reflection was not due last week, and then employee evaluation. There's employee evaluation forms on my website under the resource tab. Everyone should get one of those forms and then deposit that form onto my door by your period number. So if you're in fourth period, put the evaluation form in the employee in the slot for fourth period. If you have me for multiple periods, fourth and fifth period, you would just put it on in the fourth period slot. On your employee evaluation, to get full credit for it, you need to put your name on the sheet. Also put the periods that you're in work-based learning. So on the top of the sheet, put fourth and fifth period. The hours and wages last month was a Google form. Hopefully everyone did that. Paperwork video. Let's pause. Okay, people, this is the paperwork tab. This is the paperwork that was due. This concludes the paperwork during before you interviewed for work-based learning and the paperwork that you were supposed to turn in after work-based learning. I understand that some of you people haven't started your jobs yet or started late. If you're an off-campus person and you haven't started your job yet, obviously that employer paperwork can't be given to me yet. You guys can turn that in by next Friday. For everyone else, this is a list. If it's green, I have it. If it's red, I don't have it. I know this is putting everyone's business in the street, but I'm just that type of guy. So you can just slowly look at the list and see who's not turned in what. The more red you have, the worse of a person you are. Once you see your name, freeze the video, and done. Pause it. Hope you enjoyed that paperwork video. We're back to the PowerPoint. Come on, click. Click. Oh, what's due in September? So for September, those of you who have to do the AS learning assignments, the business law is due the last day of the month. On your website, you need to add your resume to the resume tab, and then also add a reflection under your monthly blog post tab. The hours and wages, we'll talk about that in a second. That's due at the end of the month. And the employee evaluation, everyone should have one. You'll put that on the door at the end of the month. When we talk about the resume, some of you guys have submitted resumes before. Most of them weren't good. I'm going to show you the difference between a good resume and a bad resume right now as I pause the video. 2, 1. Okay, I'm back. This is a resume, a typical resume that most people send me when they send their resume in. Not to throw any shade. It's a basic resume. For $5, if you guys go to the website Fiverr.com to make your resume a better resume, pause. Pause. How do I pause my video? Am I paused?
What's the speaker for?
I think I'm not sure if I recorded. Oh, I'm still recording. Sorry about that. I realized the video is messed up. Deal with it. So for $5, Deja Gray went to this website to get an enhanced resume. It's called an infographic resume. If you just simply go to Fiverr, if you go to Fiverr.com and you put in a budget of $5 and type resume services, you'll find a bunch of different people who can give you an infographic resume or a better formatted resume. Most people in life only have 5 or 6 jobs, but people who write resumes write thousands of resumes. So it's better to get your resume done professionally for someone who did 1,000 resumes than try to wing it 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 times. The reflection. So put your resume on the website, add the reflection to that tab. The reflection, it should look like the reflection of the website should look like this. It should be a picture of you at work plus 150 to 250 words describing how your experience relates to one of the 15 Georgia Best Standards. The Georgia Best Standards, a list of those standards, are on my website at northspringswbl.org. Under the Resources tab, you'll see something that says Georgia Best Standards in the description of the standards. Hours and wages. I'll send out a link at the end of the month for you to put your hours and wages. Hours and wages is for everyone, on campus and off campus. Even if you make $0, put $0 in the number of hours that you were on campus intern. Hopefully by the end of the month, you'll be able to submit hours and wages via roll tracks. I'll let you know. Once you do submit hours and wages via roll tracks, there's a button for you to take a picture of your check stub as well and upload that. Okay, and then finally, we get to Mr. Patterson Lessons of the Week. This was inspired by one of these students who I heard talking mess about Mr. Patterson about my class. Whatever. This person was already in trouble because they didn't complete their assignments, but then they talked about me in front of me. So I want to tell you this story, and every week I'll give you one business lesson. So business lesson number 1 is the story of the bird and the cow. There's a bird. Now this bird decides to be different than normal birds. Instead of flying south for the winter, this bird decides to fly north. So the bird is flying north, and as he's flying north, his wings are getting cold. Ice is getting on the wings. There's so much ice on the wings that the bird falls out of the sky and lands in a field frozen. So the bird's in the field frozen, and all of a sudden, a cow comes by and poops on the bird. The warmth of the cow doo-doo starts to defrost the ice off the wings of the bird. The bird becomes so happy, the bird begins to whistle. Whistle sound. all of a sudden, a coyote hears the bird whistling and comes over and eats the bird. Now, what's the moral of the story? In life, everyone who poops on your life isn't necessarily your enemy. Number two, everyone who gets you out of poop isn't necessarily your friend. But finally, and most importantly in life, once you find yourself in deep poop, keep your mouth closed. And that's Mr. Patterson's moral of the week, moral of the month. Come back next month for yet another Patterson valuable tutorial. Okay, and final announcement. Everyone should pick up a field trip form on my door. The field trip is mandatory. If you can, it's on Monday, November 11th. The field trip is a business etiquette field trip. Everyone on campus and off campus, everyone attends. It's going to be at the Cobb Galleria from 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock. If you cannot attend the field trip, you'd have to write a paper in lieu of not going to the field trip. Every student in work-based learning in Fulton County is going to be there. Pick up a field trip on my door and return it to one of my mentors by next week. If you have any other questions, please schedule an appointment. All right, bye. The dress code for the field trip is business attire. Look at the pictures on the oh, darn it. I'm going to do this. Anyway, the dress code for the field trip is business attire. Look at the screenshot to know what business attire is. Done.